Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is Horror on the Orient Express. It's available from Chaos. I'm the Keeper of the Secrets, and this is episode 21. Our recap will be given by John Hook as his character, Dr. Edison York. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. John?
From the personal log of Dr. Edison York. Days and nights are blurring together. How long have we been on this train? How long have I been sleeping? I'm so disconnected from reality. I can't tell up from down, it seems. We were summoned to the cabin of Dr. Kurtz by Henri, the steward for this mystical dream train, where we've discovered the fate of the Prince of Cats, Nimbus, has been murdered. He was killed by some kind of heavy, thick, claw-like instrument or creature. It's hard to tell. There was a blood trail that led to the windowsill, and I suspect that it may have been whatever it was that made the markings that Thursby and I had seen up on the roof. The king and queen of cats, Tarragon and Sophie, plus an entire retinue of other cats, came to view the dead prince. And I and my team of companions, we've stepped up to try and find this vile killer and bring them to justice. The cats are quite angry with Henri because he had promised protection for the cats. So this is a real shock and strike against Henri's honor and possibly the fate of the train itself. So there is a lot riding on this. Some of those extra cats have paired up to travel with us as we conduct our investigation. I think it's good to have those extra senses available. We'll see how that goes. We've divided into pairs and began to question most of the passengers on this car. And so far, we've been coming up empty. Although at one point, we could hear the click-clack of something moving on the roof of the car, and then a piercing scream coming from Madame Bonaval's room. I'm afraid my blood tells me there's another murder to solve.
Okay, thank you. You're in the hall. You hear what's obviously Madame Bonaval, her loud, piercing, and also kind of hoarse voice yelling out, "Help! Help!" She's yelling. You run down the hallway to her door, and you find that it is locked. What do you guys want to do? There, you can hear a scuffle going on inside the room.
I think Theodore is busting it down.
Yeah, I'm going to force it, put my whole body weight behind it.
Okay, do a strength roll.
Got it. Okay, this is... Oh, come on. These are D12s. Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Yeah, roll 2 D12s.
Okay. Oh, so that is a hard pass with strength.
Okay. You smash down the door, which is oddly less wood. It doesn't splinter, like a wooden door would, because it's probably not made of wood. But as it smashes open, what you see is this. Obviously, something came in through her window, because her window is open and the casement around it is smashed and there are marks all over it. Madame Bonaval is pulled back into one corner of the room. She's gripping her heart-shaped case, and she's yelling at this thing that has come through her window. It's about the size of a human, but it's not really shaped like a human. It seems to be composed almost entirely of amethyst crystals. It's got sharp protrusions all over it. You'd say that it's somewhat reptilian, maybe something insect-like as well, and it has tentacles around its face. Its eyes are like crab's eyes. They're on little stalks, and they are bright, flaming red with little sparkles all around them. The thing is growling and lunging at her, and she's saying, "No, you will never take it from me. No, help, help." She's yelling. What do you guys want to do?
I'll think of like a crowbar for Mimi to hand to me.
For Mimi. You
Yeah,
were
for
asking
Mimi.
Mimi for it.
Oh, I'd like to. Mimi has handed me a crowbar.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to strike at the creature with it.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Nope. 63.
You standing there, and it's not trying to defend itself as it's trying to attack her. You bring the crowbar down upon it, and there is a horrible tinkling sound like you're hitting glass or crystal, but it doesn't seem to do much damage at all to the creature. The creature is hard and spiky and pretty well protected. You're also pretty sure that from the shape of these crystals that this is probably the thing that killed the cat.
Dun, dun, dun.
Theodore, what were you going to do? Did you say?
See, I'm right up in the front too because I bash it down.
Right.
I like to Mimi an axe. So I just like to grab one there and just dive right in. I'll go right side by side with Gabriel and try to smack in.
Go ahead and go for it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Anticipation is killing us.
Unbelievable. Oh,
Oh, you failed. Okay. Well,
That
you
is a
you
fail.
froze for a second there. All right. So you hit it the same way. You managed to get in a good couple of swings, but the most you're doing is chipping a tiny little bit of stone off from it that falls to the floor. At this point, the creature is going to turn and try and lash out at the group of you before it goes back to Madame Bonaval.
Okay.
What are the rest of you doing? Dr. Edison, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there was a porcelain pitcher of water in a basin, maybe on a side, bureau or table right next. I just want to like pick up the pitcher and do a throw and try and crash that on it.
Do a luck roll to see if there's something there.
I've probably, oh yeah, I'm almost in single digits. Let's see how well we can do. Negative, as I rolled at the opposite end of that spectrum.
Okay.
And 95.
Okay. So you don't see anything like that.
Okay.
Dr. Kurz, Gunter.
What I was going to do was try and go in there and shield her and try and get her away from the creature.
Okay. Well, the creature is kind of between you and her.
Okay.
It's bearing down on her.
Okay. Then, and what's its size? Is it like human size or bigger?
Its body is probably about human size, but there are spikes and protrusions all over it.
Right. Is there like an end table, like a circular table with like one?
Do a
leg?
luck. Yeah, do a luck if you want to grab something.
I got better luck than Dr. Edison. Missed it by one.
Apparently you don't.
Yeah, apparently not.
Well, once again, I'll give you enough to where you do grab something and you smash it against the creature.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's once again, it's unfazed by it.
Yeah, I was trying to get something so I could push it, but since it's sharp, I didn't want to use my bare hands and stuff.
Dr. Cruz?
Well, I'm thinking this creature is apparently made of amethyst, which is a crystalline form of silicate. So unfortunately, there's no immediate chemical response that will interfere with its mechanism. I agree, however, the idea that separating this thing and Madame Bonaval is immediate concern. I think I guess I'll roll luck to see if there's any sort of, I'm looking for maybe a chair, so lion taming. Pictured towards the window it came in. Oh, very close, but I have successfully locked it.
Okay.
So I grab a chair and try to herd
And
it
sort of
towards the window.
jam the legs of the chair into the creature's tangled spikes, and you're pushing it back. The creature, it has kind of crab-like, appendages with spikes all over it. It reaches out. Madame Bonaval's trying to get back, and she's saying, "Foul thing, you'll never succeed." But the thing does manage to grab a hold of the box that she's got, and it's struggling with her. And she's like, "No, you can't have it." Just about then, Henry finally comes running in the room. This all happened very quickly. And as soon as he sees what's going on, he sort of raises his hands, and tentacles come through the walls and through the window and up through the floor and begin to wrap around the creature. You can see that the tentacles themselves are being pierced by the spikes, but Mimi doesn't seem to be reacting. However, the creature does manage to yank this box away from Madame Bonaval and do a psychology roll on Madame Bonaval.
I missed it by 3.
Everyone?
Sure.
Damn, that's fail.
I missed
Okay,
it by 78.
I'll spend 3 points of luck. If it's...
Okay. So, Dr. Gabe, everybody else, you see what's going on the way that it's going on. Dr. Neruda, when you look at her face, there is this moment of Madame Bonaval's face, like just sort of expectation, like somebody at a surprise party, just ready for the reveal. And as the creature pulls back and the tentacles begin to restrain it, it rips open the heart-shaped box, and there's nothing inside. And Madame Bonaval, just with hysterical laughter, just says, "Oh, you fool! It wasn't there at all. You'll never find it in a million years. You'll never find it." As if she was just taunting the damn thing. But it's restrained, and it drops the box, and you can see it looking down at the box. And something happens. The red glowing flames in its eyes begin to go out, and they turn to kind of sort of an amber color, as if something is gone from them for that moment. And the creature stops struggling against Henry. Henry's like, "It's some sort of monster. I'll throw it off the ship." You guys do.
No, wait. What is the meaning of this? And I'll say this to Madame Bonaval.
It's extremely dangerous. Shouldn't we get rid of it, monsieur?
No. She knows what it is.
Also,
She says, she's still laughing. She says, "It's from him. It's from the black sorcerer. He's trying to get my ruby. He'll never get it. Never." She screams at the thing.
yes, well, Madame Bonaval, your amusing game with the black sorcerer has cost the life of Prince Nimbus, regent of all cats of Ulthar.
She's like, I'm not to blame for that. This thing, I didn't know it was here. It suddenly climbed through my window, but it's something I expect that black wizard to do.
You know, it came for you when you were dancing some waltz with it.
You can see that she's been pierced in a few places by the spikes of the creature in her struggle with it, but she's not bleeding.
That's odd.
Is she still kind of trapped? In my mind's eye, the way you've been describing it, I feel like the bed is in the way, the creature's there, so she's kind of like trapped in the far corner.
Well,
Is that true, or can we get to her?
She was, up until the thing grabbed the thing out of her arms, in which case she had almost that kind of she leaned forward in anticipation for it, realizing that it had failed. So she's quite defiant. She's not a poor weak woman. She's laughing at it for its stupid failure. He's tried forever to get that jewel. He'll never get it.
Madame Bonaval, please sit down. Come over here where it's safer, and you've been injured. Let me tend to your wounds.
She says, it's nothing. It's nothing. She says, but I suppose I should thank you for helping to rescue me.
Yes. Well, you will thank me by please coming over here. Have a seat. I need to tend to your wounds.
At this point, cats have started to move in, and the cats are all hissing and arched backs, and their main, you seem to be able to understand them now, at least in some part. They're all kill it, or let us bring it back to Ulthar and murder it properly. You know, drag it through the streets. And Henry turns to you and he's like, what should I do? I could throw it off the train. I could restrain it. We could let the cats take it back to Uther, or we could wait until the king comes and let him decide what should be done.
I think if Mimi can produce another cell like the one the madman is in to hold this thing, it either belongs in, depending on the treaties and customs of Dreamlands, either Ulthar has right to extradite this thing for its own justice.
Yes,
or,
that should be something that King Karanis should decide.
The cats start to yell, extradition. Everybody do a spot hidden.
I think if you throw it off the train, it would merely escape.
Extreme.
29 is a hard success.
Fail.
Okay. Those of you who succeed, you've noticed that the creature, it's no longer struggling against Mimi. It seems almost that when that flaming red in its eyes, like the color of anger itself, fades away, a kind of odd intelligence begins to flood over the creature's movements and visage. And when the cats talk about, when Henry talks about throwing it off the train, it visibly shakes its head as if it's understanding what you're saying. It's got an almost pleading look in its face now.
Was it under some kind of spell?
Or is it
Was
the
acting under?
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
The creature moves its head up and down.
were you
Do you understand me?
Yeah. Were you ensnared by the black sorcerer that burned himself to death?
Do you know where he is?
Madame Bonaval yells out, "It's lying! Why would you ever trust this thing?" The creature's response is no, it doesn't know where he is.
Can you write?
It holds up its spiky hands. Yeah, no.
Why? Did you kill the cat on purpose, or did you stumble upon it?
Did the young cat attack you out of fear? Did you put the cat in my trunk?
Did the wizard have you kill the cat? Do you know why?
Were you searching Dr. Kurtz's okay.
So
And Madame Bonaval is still yelling out, he was here for me. That's the only reason he was here.
He was
Yeah,
here
and-
for the ruby that you have been holding on to for centuries.
And Henry's like, but this is very nearly impossible. It couldn't have gotten onto my train. Nothing would be allowed to get onto the train. So how is it here?
Maybe
there-
it was brought on board.
Is there anyone that we haven't had an opportunity to interview yet?
I don't think you talked to Mackenzie yet.
We should see if Mackenzie's still here.
Yeah, Mackenzie's in the hallway. You guys have been making quite a ruckus.
Okay.
I wonder if maybe perhaps this black sorcerer does not always travel with Madame Bonaval.
Henry's like, we need to do something. Shall we? You said put him into another cell.
I think that is the safest thing, and Koranis can judge.
Very
Is-
well. Go ahead.
Is the creature still within our proximity to ask one more?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
right in front of you.
Did you come aboard with the man that we just picked up, the crazy guy, the crazed guy?
It looks confused.
Did you come on the train at Tsar? Did you come on the train before Tsar?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
The Ippian squeakers work through psychic emanations, right?
Mhm.
I wonder if this thing could talk to us through the Ippian squeaker.
Yeah, let's
Well-
get into a cell first.
Yes. Or
So Henry transports it on the outside of the train. It's pulled out through the window, and it's moved towards the observation area, and it's placed into a cell there. Madame
Maybe-
Bonaval, you guys all notice a bit of an attitude change in Madame Bonaval because you guys did rescue her and you fought for her. So maybe you guys aren't the bad men. She's a little bit more gracious all of a sudden to you all for rescuing her. And she picks up the broken pieces of the box. I called it a box. It basically, imagine like a heart-shaped purse or a heart-shaped,
yeah.
thing. She picks it up and she crumbles it up and puts it into a waste basket. And she
Right.
looks very satisfied with herself.
When she
You
does,
know, madam. If you flung that stone of yours into the abyss of Nodens, I'm sure you could have some peace and guarantee that that wizard will never get a hold of it.
She says, "Oh, you think that's my plan, Mr. Mavrita, Dr. Mavrita?" She says, "I have far better plans."
Is your idea just to sit here forever in the Dreamlands and reveling in his eternal torment?
Now you're talking. She's like, killed my daughter, tore her heart out. He says, I'm going to torture him for all of eternity if I can.
I mean, losing your daughter to an evil man like that, I could understand the anger and the hatred that would come from that. But think of also the cost to you by hanging on to that anger and hate for centuries.
The cost to me is it was everything that I ever had. Hatred is more powerful than love, and death is stronger than life. It's to you.
Yes.
Dr. Edison, she won't really let you do anything to her, but you can clearly see the wounds. There's no blood. She's just kind of black and gray on the inside. Do a medicine roll.
Yes, a hard success.
Yeah. You're not sure that she's alive in any sense that a person would be alive.
Is she close enough for me to touch?
Yeah.
Okay. In a now that the creature has been removed from the room, I want to like put one arm around her shoulders.
Not sure she'd let you do that, but
I want to get close enough to see if I can put one arm around her shoulders, and then with my other hand, lightly get her by the wrist, and just, I'm kind of guiding it. So, Madame Bonaval, please come have a seat. You need to rest. And I'm attempting to see if there's a pulse.
yeah, you don't find a pulse.
That's disturbing.
And she doesn't really care for you to touch her. So she says, I'm fine, young man. Thank you for your help, but I'd like to be alone for a while. And she turns to Henry and says, Henry, can you fix this? She points to the window. So as she says that, it starts to repair itself.
Perhaps we'll speak to you at the next meal, Madame Bonaval. Good evening.
And she says, it's not over yet.
I'm sure of this, yes.
Reach out to if you need assistance if he comes back for you.
All right. So Henry suggests maybe we should make a general announcement that we found the killer.
Yes.
Or at least half of the killer.
This is great news for Henry because the cats were extremely upset with
Right.
Henry.
Yes.
At least this is part.
And now, Henry, I
So-
don't know how your contracts and things work, but I mean, Madame Bonaval and her continuing feuding with this wizard is a danger to your guests while she's on this train.
There are things involved with she is safe on this train. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Somehow that wizard managed to sneak something on board on the train. I don't know how he did it. But he himself cannot.
Henry,
So-
are you aware that Madame Bolivar is dead?
You look at him and you can't see much of his scarred face. But when you say that, you can sort of tell from the facial form of him that he smiles at you and he says, "Well, Dr. York, so am I."
Oh. Oh my.
Not everything in the Dreamlands is alive on Earth anymore.
From time passage. The only thing keeping her going is her hatred, almost like a ghost of some sort.
Yes, I think that's exactly it.
So
Sometimes I understand that sometimes the dead go on dreaming.
indeed they do.
I would like to tell one of the riders or a pair of them, if they haven't already sent a messenger off to tell Tarragon and Sophia that we have a culprit,
Yeah.
and also that the matter is not resolved. Yeah. So we have a power lounge.
You go to the lounge, and as you go along, you knock on everybody's door, those who aren't in the hallway yet, to come to the lounge, and you make the announcement, but one person is not in the lounge. Meronimer is not in the lounge.
I thought he knew something. I thought he was acting strange.
Oh,
We
really?
need to find him immediately.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Monsieur Meronimer is not here. Let us check his room. He goes, does somebody want to go with him?
I'll go with him.
Okay. You go to his room. He opens the door. It's much the way that you saw it before. He's not there. And Henry looks at you and he says, did you come to see him before?
Yes.
Where was he standing? You probably point to where he was standing.
Yeah.
And he says, there is blood upon the carpet right where he's standing. Probably cat blood.
Oh. He'd been looking for his cat, and I felt sympathy for him. Losing his cat. Does he still have like luggage or
Yeah, everything is in his room like normal.
Gotta find him. We should make sure that he's not trying to free that thing. We should make sure. We should check on all the cats.
Henry closes his eyes for a moment, and you have the feeling like he's sort of communing with Mimi for that brief moment. And he said, there has been a change in the place where we are keeping the creature. Shall we go and see?
Yes. Let us go.
So you go to that thing and you go through the little trap door and down to the thing, and the cell door opens, and there is no longer a creature in there. There is Meronimer.
This should simplify communication at least.
I was not in control. I'm sorry for what happened. It was, and he tries to say something more, and he suddenly lynches in pain, like he can't say anything out loud. I have been lurching, Jesus. I cannot. Perhaps another form of communication will work.
Yes, I'll go ask the Ibians if we can borrow the squeaker.
So without much, okay, you go and you get the Ibians, or you have one of the Ibians come with you with a squeaker, and Meronimer holds out his hand with the squeaker, and the squeaker says, he lured me in with my cat. And now I thought that he wanted to rob me of my treasures of wine, but he wanted to mesmerize me in order to attack Madame Bonaval. But when my mind is suppressed, I cannot control my own body.
Where did you first meet him?
I have traveled extensively through the Dreamlands. It was in a very dark place. But he found me, and he has my cat, and I cannot speak from my mouth the things that he has done, or I am restrained by his magic.
Under what name did you meet him?
He has no name.
No, he has many. The place that you met him, was it, did it seem like a city of Earth, of France?
No, not a city.
Just a dark place.
Yes.
How
My
does
mind has been altered. I am confused.
Does it know what you do? Does it communicate with you directly? Do you hear voices or?
No, but when my eyes are red, it is in control. It can see. It killed the cat through my body. I would never have killed the cat. The cat was visiting me when he took control of my body.
No.
Mironimer suddenly looks quite exhausted from trying to think that to the squeaker.
If there's some way we can trace that sorcerer.
Please, will you speak to the king on my behalf? I met none of this.
Well, the good news is that Dr. Neruda and I have been practicing as lawyers without a license recently, so we have a little experience. I understand I am sympathetic with your condition, certainly. Unless the king can do something to punish the dark sorcerer, however, you might be, well, we'll see what we can do.
You must keep me restrained, however. He could at any time retake my body.
Are there other forms it can take? Or is it merely the one we see in the one of crystal?
That is my true form.
Yeah.
This is the form I take in your dreams. In my own world, that is what I look like.
What were you expecting to find in Madame Bonaval's container?
I was not in control. I don't know.
Where are you from?
I'm from Saru. I am Sarubian. Another world.
Is Sarub far away?
It's impossible to get to now. We used to sail on the ocean through space to my planet, back and forth, my people. I've told you the story. We sailed in ships with lemon sails, and we were great wine merchants, and then all of the ships disappeared, and I was left stranded. I don't know what's happened. I fear something horrible. And I miss my cat.
Yeah, yes.
Is there any way, did the sorcerer mention a way that you can earn your cat in freedom?
Told me that he would give my cat freedom once he was done with me, but that was just to lure me in. Once I was there, he enslaved my mind. My cat may not exist anymore, but I have hope.
Would you be able to show us or describe where this dark place was? I mean, the Dreamlands are quite large.
I'm not sure that you would understand. You don't know the Dreamlands or the topography or the places or the things you have to go through to get there. It's not in the bright world of that we are used to. It might be somewhere closer to Lang or Kadath, he says, where people don't go. He suddenly starts to slump. He's been under a strain, and the Ibian grabs the squeaker. Have I been of use to you?
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
Would you like some cheese? No, I always think of the cheese. So the Ibian goes. What do you guys want to do?
Wondering if Lady Bonaval knows a way of finding him, or at least a clue as to where we could look, even if we even wanted to find him.
Well, do an intelligence roll.
Did the story mention where he was sent?
Yeah, it didn't. He burned himself up in a tower.
Regular.
Well, it would seem like the entire thing that she's into is luring him to where she is. She seems to have a great deal of pleasure in taunting him out of hatred and spite. So you all leave the confines of the cell area and go back up onto the observation. In the distance now, you can see a rather large seaside city looming up, down. You're kind of up on a cliff or a mountainside, and you're coming down towards what must be Afelrat. You see it down there. There's smoke coming out of little chimneys. You can see the ocean. There's quite a few barks on the ocean that are out there. And Mimi suddenly sort of lurches, and you all wake up in your beds on the train.
Oh. Are we refreshed like last time we were in the Dreamlands?
Yes, you are.
Oh.
And let's see, what time were you due to arrive in Milan? When did you get on the train in Lausanne? Was that in the morning or the evening?
Yeah, it was fairly early in the morning.
Okay, so you got on at 5. Okay, at 6 a.m. is when you left. That means you're on the B schedule. You are arriving in Milan at right about 4 o'clock. So
Yeah.
you're minutes away from arriving in Milan.
And that's PM, right? 4 PM.
Correct. Yeah, 4 p.m. You can see that what you're passing through now is the last little remnants of countryside. You can see a few farms in the distance here and there, but now you're seeing more and more buildings, and you're coming into Milan. You were coming to the what's the name of the station? It's Stazione Centrale, Central Station in Milan. As you pull in to the central station, everybody do a spot hidden roll.
Ooh.
Ooh, extreme.
Oh, regular.
As the train is pulling in, while it's still moving, but it's slowing down considerably as it's coming into the station, you see a great deal of rubble, as if half the station has fallen down or has been torn down or smashed down. It almost looks like a bomb went off, except that it's kind of neatly pushed over to one side. You also notice a lack of people on the station. There's not very many people. This should be a fairly busy time of day. As the train stops, the stewards come around, they give you your passports, they take all of your luggage, and they're going to transfer it to the hotel. You are staying in the Galleria in the center. Caterina Cavallaro got hotel rooms for you, if you recall, the best in town.
That's right.
So you'll be staying right in the middle. As you step off the train onto the platform, it's a fairly long, white, flat area, and it opens right to the outside. There's streets right out there where cabs would be waiting, and the city is laid out. You can see the Duomo, the church with the big dome on it, sort of looms up and over everything. There are surprisingly few people here. What is there anything you want to do before you hop in your cab and head towards?
I want to verify our body part that's wrapped and the scroll. I want to make sure they are secured.
They are secured. You have secured them in the trunk, and then the trunk is being transferred.
So there's no one around the station besides
There's a few
the
people here and there, but not very many.
I ask. I don't speak Italian, so I was gonna but Germany's kind of close. So I kind of ask around if anyone speaks Deutsch.
Do a luck roll.
Okay. No.
Yeah,
I can.
it's difficult.
speak
Does
little.
anybody speak Italian?
See?
Okay, well, we'll use that as we go around. We'll use your Italian. Anything you want to do before you leave the station?
Theodore, could you inquire what happened to the station? I mean, are they rebuilding it?
See? Yeah.
You see a porter, yeah, who's moving
Yeah.
stuff.
Basically, directly translate. Whatever.
Oh, senor, ever since your il Duce, Benito Mussolini, has been taking charge. They've decided to tear down the existing station and rebuild a better one. So I'm sorry for all of the rubble, but that's what's going on.
I understand he has a very strong interest in train schedules. Your new Duke.
Indeed.
Yeah. I assume that Signora Cavallaro was carried off in some entourage as soon as the train stopped.
Oh, you haven't heard. And he points over at a newspaper stand. And this is what's on the newspaper stand.
Diva Caterina Cavallaro, scomparsa por il rapimento.
Mamma mia.
Do you get a newspaper?
See?
See,
Opera star Caterina Cavallero missing, fear of abduction. Police have expressed fears that soprano Caterina Cavallero may have been abducted from Milan's Stazione Centrale. The singer has not been seen since she alighted from the train from Paris the day before yesterday at 5 p.m. Since then, she has not returned to her apartment or attended rehearsals at La Scala, where she is due to sing the part of Aida, which opens tomorrow night. Arturo Toscanini, music director of La Scala, has confirmed that he has had no contact from the singer since she departed Paris. Local police request that any members of the public contact them if they have any information on the location of Signora Cavallero. We heartily urge all Milanese to join the search for our most beloved star.
Dang.
This is frightful. She was just on this train.
Coincidence, do you think, gentlemen? Or do we sense there is another connection here?
I feel that this entire trip will never be filled with coincidence.
Mhm.
So you move into the main part of the city. Let me show you. This is what the church, everybody calls it the Duomo, but it just means dome. All of the big churches in Italy are just called Duomo. But it looks like that. And there's this big square in the front, very beautiful, lots of people milling around. And then through that archway on the side there, that goes into the Galleria, which is a big open market. Looks like that, very much like a precursor to shopping malls. It's got a glass roof on it. And on the top floor up there is where your hotel is. So you are in the center of the Galleria. It's a big cross-shaped thing. You are up in the very top. That's where your hotel is. Now you notice something very strange. There are people gathered at one of the mosaics on the floor, and they keep doing a little ballerina spin. And when you look closer, what they're ballerina spinning on, it's this.
Mhm.
And you can see that what they're doing is they're putting their heel right on the bull's testicles, and then they're spinning around, and they're laughing, and then they walk away. And everybody seems to be doing this one after the other. People are in line to do it.
I try to pick up any chitter chatter around there in Italian.
Okay. Yeah, do a listen roll. You don't have to do a listen roll. Everybody's chit-chatting. There is a general malaise over everybody. Nobody's really happy, except probably tourists are occasionally kind of giggling and happy. But the actual population here, and they're all very well dressed. This is a fashion town. Everybody is very proud about the way they dress. They all seem very depressed. And the thing that you keep picking up is the fact that everybody is worried about Caterina Cavallaro being missing. At one end of the Galleria is the Duomo. At the other end, if you just walk through it, is La Scala, the opera house. It's got large flat stairs going up to the opera house. That's what La Scala is the stairs. But people are very sad, very worried. And in general, they all look kind of depressed. People are sitting around looking, moping, not too happy.
We saw her not that long ago. I mean,
Yeah.
if because we were dreaming, but prior to that, we had that very unpleasant experience.
Oh, I thought she was quite pleasant.
Well, no, I'm saying before, with the scroll.
Oh, yeah, that was
You
that
were-
experience. That was not.
She was on the train with you out of Paris,
Yeah.
and then you spent a day in Lausanne,
Yeah.
and then you've been in the Dreamlands since then. So this is really the next day. She should have arrived yesterday on that train that you left out of Paris,
Yeah.
but apparently something happened.
Well,
Do we recall anything about who she was traveling with? Didn't she have one traveling companion that stayed on the train with her?
Her piano player, yeah.
Yeah. I assume he's staying in the same hotel that she put us up in and where she expected to stay herself. So if we drop our bags, check our trunks, especially the important ones, and then see if we can speak to her accompanist.
Yeah,
If you recall from the newspaper, it said that let's see, she has not returned to her apartment, so she must have
Mm-hmm.
an apartment there.
So we could find out from the hotel who she had book our rooms for. It's probably someone from our staff that traveled with her. And then with that name, we could search for her. She may know.
Okay. So you want to talk to the concierge? What
Yeah.
time did we establish that it was afternoon?
4 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
early evening.
before we leave, I want to spin on the bull's testicles.
It's actually a tradition that everybody does. It's good luck. Spin on the bull's testicles.
Dr.
Yeah.
York, it's good luck. Maybe you should spin on it.
Win in Milan and spin on the nuts.
If we all have to wait in lines for the nut spinning, we might as well all have a spin on the nuts, yes. Or eggs, as we say.
Yes.
All right. So you're going to talk to the concierge. Concierge only tells you that Signora Cavallaro must have an apartment. This is her home. So if you say anything about her accompanist, probably it's this one too. So he's living. Neither one of them is a guest in the hotel. You were booked. It's just booked under her name. So.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't be okay. I was thinking it might be booked by one of her entourage with their name.
It may have been, but it's still just in her name. So
Got it. Okay.
they don't have that person's name.
Do they have a phone book?
Sure.
We have to remember or find the name as a accompanist. So yeah. She talked very much and he talked very little, so I don't remember if his name came up. But it would be public information who she works with and travels with. A longer newspaper article will probably have his name.
The train hasn't taken off yet, has it? It's still because it's. Oh darn! I was thinking we could rush over and ask the steward there.
It would have been a different.
I'm assuming her address is not in the phone book since she's a celebrity. But
Do a luck roll.
did just spin on the bull's. See if
That's
that works.
true.
Hey, it did work.
Let's see. Yes, in fact, you do find an address for her apartment. It is on Via San Carpoforo. It is, in fact, a townhouse.
Okay.
It's in a very nice area of Milan.
I remember she was traveling with somebody named Ricardo, I think.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Don't remember his last name.
Me neither, but he was not the one that enchanted me.
Yeah. If we can't find his name directly, then we'll ask at her apartments, perhaps about her accompanist, Ricardo.
Maybe before we go to her apartment, we could get something from the hotel showing that she booked this room for us. That way, we're not just creepy guys that are, oh, hey.
Yeah, good call.
Show that we actually know her.
Yeah, according to the travel companion, there's a few nice hotels here in Milan. The Grand Hotel. So maybe we should give that one a call.
Yeah. Also, the Scala, they would know who she's traveling with. They'd probably know who she's coming in with. We could backtrack that way too.
Yeah, certainly. Also, just the few days papers, a longer article about her missing. Since they were traveling together, either he's missing also, or the authorities have talked with him already.
So how do you want to proceed?
Well, the Scala is right here, correct?
Mhm.
Right, it's at the other end of the mall of the gallery.
Maybe we should go there first. I mean,
Yeah, we get a little documentation from the concierge that we are actually associated with the signorina and not fanatics. And yeah, and we ask a couple of simple questions.
Okay.
And as they go forward to that desk for that, I kind of just hang back in the corner, grab a paper, and I kind of look around. Does it appear like anyone's sort of following us or giving us weird
No,
eyes?
you don't see anybody doing that. Okay. All right, so you guys head out. You turn. You can see the Duomo out one end, so you head in the other direction. And there are steps going up. The Opera House, La Scala, is beautiful on the inside. You can see through the glass front. It's not particularly ornate on the outside, but it's not open. The opera season starts tomorrow. There are probably ticket booths. And you try a spot hidden.
Oh, one.
Oh, that surpasses everybody. You can see through the window into the lobby. You can see the doors going into the theater. One of them is open. There is activity going on inside there, but it's not open to the public.
There are people in there.
Do you recognize the fellow she was traveling with? Or
Oh,
is
it's
it
too far
difficult?
away. It's 300 feet away or so from where you are.
I knock. Or I assume the door's locked, so I kind of like.
Yes, they are locked.
Yeah, I'll knock.
Yeah, there's nobody directly in the hall. So it's a knock.
She, in addition to getting us a hotel room, she offered us tickets for the opening tomorrow.
She did.
I wonder
Um,
if the ticket booth has those under our names or
Just
if they are
special
at the
guests.
hotel. Yeah.
Well, she did know all of your names because by the time you guys had all become sort of friends on the train. So they should be under your names.
So we go
And
to
the-
the ticket booth and we pick up these things and ask about what they plan to do about our placement and also for gossip and
Okay.
express our personal concern.
The woman inside the booth checks and she says, "Oh yes, it's very good seats." She says you'll be in the third row, almost dead center.
Oh.
Well,
How's the understudy?
She says, well, we're all hoping for Cavallaro to return, the diva.
Of course.
If there's been no announcement, so we don't know that such a thing would be necessary. But if it were, right now, Filomena Di Mattina is practicing in case she has to take over.
Oh, good. I'm assuming because it was in the paper that this is not the normal behavior for Cavallaro.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just so concerned about her. She's a good friend.
Oh, well, if she got you these tickets, yes, she is. Thank you. And she hands you your tickets.
So I wonder if this Philomena might have stayed in constant contact with her. I wonder, yeah, she wouldn't know anything. It's not on the train.
No, I think it's probably Toscanini who will know what the situation is, and he is a terribly famous individual. And presumably in the rehearsal you have seen.
Yeah, and they seemed busy. They didn't respond to my attempts to get their attention.
And so perhaps we find some periodicals that follows the workings of the opera, and it says that Signorina Cavallaro has been working with Ricardo so-and-so in anticipation, and then we find his name, and he will probably leave the opera house himself late tonight. But we can try to intercept him and see what he knows about her departure. Or perhaps there is just a larger article in yesterday's paper or so.
If you look through the newspapers, you find a couple of other articles, but they don't give you any more information. You don't find any reference to.
You're having those mic problems again.
Oh, sorry. You don't find any reference to this Ricardo fellow, and you don't find any more information you already have.
I wonder if she was traveling with someone who was unscrupulous. How well did she know Ricardo?
He seemed to know him really well.
Looking through newspapers, have there been other disappearances lately?
No.
I mean, hers is big news, but
Well, let's see if there's any other interesting articles that you're looking around.
ooh, 14 is an extreme success.
Okay, you can find something that does have some reference to the opera.
Welcome return. Flavio Conti was a welcome face at last night's party for patrons and supporters of La Scala. Mr. Conti has been unwell in recent months with some erroneous reports that he was afflicted with consumption. It was clearly a much less serious complaint. Mr. Conti has made a complete recovery and was the life of the party. Also present were fellow opera patrons, Mr. Nunzio Toki, Mr. and Mrs. Matteos Sorrenti, Mrs. Angela Susco, Mr. Arturo Fascia, and Mrs. Serena Sapagnolo. The company was entertained by selections from this week's opera Aida, as performed by members of the cast. Rosario Sorbello accompanied on the piano. It was the most glittering occasion.
Perhaps Gabriel, this Rosario is who we think, and not Ricardo. It's similar enough, yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
Let's see if there's a Rosario Cabello in the directory.
Yes, there is.
Uh-huh. And he will, if not recognize all of us, probably recognize Herr Bloch as having made a certain impression. So we get a early supper, perhaps. I assume they'll be rehearsing late, and then we find perhaps a cafe near Signor Cabello's apartment and discover if he can tell us anything about our friend's sudden taken away.
That's Rosario. That's a female. I'm sorry, I put that in.
Rosario should be male with an O at the end. Rosaria would be female.
See.
Okay.
Or if there are subsections in Italian, I don't know, perhaps. The accompanist was female on the train?
I don't know. No, it wasn't. It was a male named Ricardo.
Oh, different. All right. So we are different, two different.
Yeah.
There's probably
Mm,
1,000 accompanists.
Yeah.
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 I was hoping the person on the train would be the person we found because we would seem less crazy.
Yeah.
Seem less crazy.
Well,
Hmm.
I mean, there are a couple things you can get from that article if you think about it. They were performing music from the opera, but
Mhm.
she wasn't there, and
Right.
he wasn't the accompanist. And there were patrons there.
Now, was
Most
this before
likely
she
she
went
was.
missing?
Oh, this was that time. Yeah. This was just yesterday. It's completely plugged in. Is that better?
It's
Much.
better.
Oh yeah, solid now.
Okay.
That wire.
What was the question? It was
So this thing from the newspaper was yesterday.
correct, last night.
So it was after she went missing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can kind of guess that maybe she was supposed to be at that gala,
Mm-hmm.
but
That might have been the first time that someone really noticed, hey, she didn't show up at an appointment that she was normally going to.
now I'll talk a little bit about where you are, because now you are in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Walking on the street, you've noticed a couple of things. There are basically three different kinds of police. There are like town police, which, you know, are just kind of what you'd expect from cops. There are gendarmes, which are more, official police. And then there are the black shirts. You are starting to notice black shirts everywhere, and they are the fascist police. Not the fashion police, but the
Yeah.
fascist police.
Oh, they look very
this-
fashionable.
The fascist party is currently starting to control Italy under Benito Mussolini. The fascist police, the black shirts, are the ones that are less friendly towards foreigners than the regular people. Firearms of any kind are illegal for anyone to have, except for the gendarmes and the fascist police. You're paying with everything in lira at this point. You've had your money changed.
See.
All right.
Okay.
So what avenue of investigation do you want to follow?
Do we want to go by her house or her what was it, townhouse?
or townhouse.
That seems like the logical step.
Okay. So you drive over to San Carpoforo, via San Carpoforo, and you see it. It's a very luxurious, very nice townhouse. It's got a small wrought iron fence around it. It's got trees and it looks like fruit trees and stuff in the front. It's 2 stories high. It's mostly kind of an off-white marble facade, rather ornate. You pull up, there is a sports car in the driveway, but it's kind of in the back under a cover, an awning, a solid awning made from stone and marble, and the door is right where that sort of area is. What do you want to do? Oh, you take a cab?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, the cab drops you off in front of there.
Okay.
You walk up to the door and you see there's a bell. You ring the bell. There is a moment of silence after the bell, and then you can hear the clackety clack of shoes on marble heading towards the door from the inside. And very quickly, the door is opened by a woman. She's, you'd say she's probably in her late 20s, maybe mid 20s. She is dressed as a maid, and she opens up the door and she's like, she looks at you and there's a moment of hope and then a moment of disappointment. And she's like, oh, can I help you with, who are you?
I assume she's speaking Italian.
Yeah.
Theodore.
So Theodore's about the only one who can understand.
Again, I have a little, but
And I have 90. I have 90 in Spanish. Are they close enough languages?
Not really.
No. Okay.
probably comparable to my 11 in Italian, but being Swiss, I have actually.
We'll assume that Theodore translates everything.
Yeah,
we
I'll
need to-
happily. My
Yeah.
audio is a little bit off, so
Okay.
if I'll translate.
She's just gonna help you.
Yes, we are acquaintances of Cavallaro, and we had read about her unfortunate disappearance, and we
So you don't know where she is?
No. We were seeing if maybe we could assist, but we were needing to see if did she make it here from the train?
Oh no, she hasn't been here.
She hasn't been here
You
at
say
all.
you're her friends and you want to assist.
Yes.
Oh, how can you assist? Everybody wants to find her.
Well, six more pairs of eyes looking around cannot hurt. You know, we
Do a either persuade or a charm.
let's see which one. Yeah. All right. I'll spend 3 luck to pass the charm. The bull failed me
Okay.
that time.
She seems upset. She seems to calm down a bit, and she's like, well, we certainly want the help. Anything that we can do. We need to find her. Tomorrow's the opera.
Oh, I know, and she got us such lovely seats, 3rd row center.
Well, we have no idea. What happened apparently was the train arrived and she got off the train. She was with her, one of the managers met her from La Scala, met her at the train. And then she became distracted. She ran off. She apparently saw somebody she knew in, their Alfa Romero, and off she went. Now, she's a passionate woman,
Oh,
and
yes.
she knows that things will be taken care of without her direct involvement, but they're saying, that maybe she was having a fling with somebody, but I don't think so. I think that all she wanted, this was the most important thing for her to be in the opera. She wouldn't just run off.
Would we know if she's made any recent comments against Mussolini or the current change in politics?
None whatsoever. Some of us are very happy about Mussolini. He's fixing a lot of the problems that we've had.
Oh, that's
He's a patron of the arts.
oh, that's lovely.
The trains are very timely. When we were with her just the day before on the Orient Express, you see.
Oh,
But we had a stop at Lausanne, and she continued on. When we spent an evening enjoying her art, she was with her accompanist Ricardo
Tiso.
Tiso. We could not think of his name. Is he safely from the train? Is he at home?
Yes, he came.
Yeah, I think maybe he will be one of the last ones to see her. Was there ever a guest that came here who drove this Alfa Romeo car?
We have many, many guests.
She's a very generous host.
And the Alfa Romeo factory is here in town. So many, many people have Alfa Romeos. It's a very popular car.
Yeah, let's see. Well, so we are staying at the hotel she arranged for us, and here is a card. So if anything of interest to you is, if you hear anything, we welcome any news.
Well, the only thing, there's so much speculation, but nothing seems to be panning out. The police are looking. Everybody at the opera is worried. There are many, many, many patrons of the opera. They often, treat the singers to parties and performances, but no one has seen her at all.
No, of course, it's tomorrow is a very big night, so opening. Would you say that Mr. Signorina had any, forgive the cliche, were there enemies she had, or very jealous professional people?
Oh, no. Everybody loved her. Everybody loved her.
A few so lovely, talented woman, everyone, yeah.
I'm sure there's envy, but it's a happy envy. We love our singers here in Milan. It's a big part of everybody's life. Everybody's devastated that she's missing.
Such a bright voice. Herr Bloch?
Has anyone else come here asking about her?
Oh, well, yes, the police came. They asked.
Yeah.
What was the name of the manager that met her, saw her briefly on the train platform?
Oh, I'm not so sure. It could have been anyone at the any of the stage people at the opera. It was probably they were just, making sure that her luggage got to the right address. Her luggage arrived, but
it did.
we thought half the day we thought that she would just show up in the afternoon.
Has anybody from the opera been here?
No, not directly.
I assume that usually when she travels like this, you would unpack her luggage even before she arrived, yes?
Yes.
And everything seemed in order in the luggage?
Everything was perfectly fine. There was a small stain on one of her dresses, but I fixed that. I removed that.
What did it look like, the stain?
Oh, wine or something.
Not blood, you think?
Oh, no, not blood.
You used
it was packed in her
things.
trunk anyway. It would have been something from the train.
Yeah.
She doesn't happen to have like a little villa in the country that she goes to sometimes to clear her head. So I know that's popular with some artists, have a little retreat. Just
No, she doesn't. She doesn't own anything like that. Of course, there are many people that, would entertain her at such a place, but she wouldn't run off knowing that the opera's tomorrow. She needs to rehearse. She should be rehearsing, but
Did she keep a journal or anything? Is there a journal among her luggage where she might have recorded that she was wanting to meet somebody at the train station?
she has scrapbooks that she keeps, but she's not much of a writer.
Did she have did any of Milan's prominent opera patrons, was any one of them her biggest fan, most devoted?
She has so many. There are many patrons. There was a big party yesterday evening with many of the patrons that were there.
Would any particular patron bestow great gifts upon her?
They all do. And for a young, vibrant, beautiful woman with the ability to sing like that, there's no age limit. There's no gender preference. They all love her. It's maybe one of her patrons did pick her up, but none of them has said anything about picking her up.
But none leap to mind as being the most outgoing and vocal fan.
No, could be anyone.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you can find her. And if I have any more information that I find out, I will call you immediately.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you for your time and patience. And hopefully the Signorina will be back in the household in no time at all.
I hope so. Yes.
buongiorno.
Oh, you speak Italian.
I'm wondering.
We should pay a visit to this Ricardo Tiso. I wonder if he knows who she ran after.
Yeah, or the manager. If we can find out what manager met her from the Scala, then we might get a good description of the car that she stepped into, or maybe the description of the person she entered it with.
I think Ricardo's a good start. I mean, he should recognize us, and he was there, when she was last seen. I mean,
Okay. If you look in the book once again, you find a Ricardo Tiso. In fact, it's listed as Ricardo Tiso, accompanist.
To the stars. Yeah.
Caitlin.
So yeah, another taxi ride.
I mean, there is a phone number with it. So
Yeah, we could.
Thursby as spokesman, if you wish to call. I understand that Il Duce's new telephone kiosks are much sharper and easier to hear than the ones.
Yeah, this is such a wonderful thing going on here. So lovely here. I really like Italy.
To never go wrong.
all right, so you're going to try to call him.
Si, por favor.
Ciao, he answers the phone. And in Italian, I don't speak Italian. He says, who is speaking?
Oh, hi there. This is Theodore Thursby, and we were good friends of Catalina. She got us wonderful rooms and.
From the train.
Yeah, from the train. Yeah, that was. Do you remember Gunther Block?
I do remember. Yes, that evening it was quite fun. You know that she's missing.
Yes, we just heard about the terrible news. I I was wondering it seems like the last time she was seen was shortly off the train.
Yes, yes.
Did you by any chance maybe see who she met up with or what car she might have gotten into? Any sort of
The police asked me this yesterday. Where I was, we were getting her luggage. I was speaking to the stage manager, not the main stage manager, but the assistant, Martino. And as we were speaking, she seemed to brighten up. She waved to somebody. We sort of glanced out of the corner of our eye, thinking that she would stay there, but she suddenly just sort of dismissed herself from us and ran to the street. There was an Alfa Romero. She looked into it. She leaned over. She laughed and got inside, and they drove away.
Alfa Romeo.
Could you hear all that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
What color was that Alfa Romeo?
Black. They're all black.
Oh, yeah. Nothing striking, no. Darn. And you saw it from a distance, so you couldn't really get any detail, or is there?
It must have been somebody that she knew.
Yeah.
It's an expensive car, so somebody, maybe one of the patrons, but none of them have come forward.
Is there? And I'm relaying this to everybody.
Yeah.
Does anyone think of?
Does Ricardo have a recollection of perhaps a recent romance that the signorina was very?
She doesn't. Recently, no. She right now she has some flings. She thought your Gunter was quite attractive. But all she can think of right now is the opera.
Yeah.
It consumes her every moment, and will so until, she's well into the season.
So there was no apprehension by her for this performance. She was really looking forward to it.
No, we expect her to show up. She was ecstatically happy.
Yeah, as she was on the train, was very excited about that.
Why was Signor Tiso not at the rehearsal yesterday, but instead replaced by this Rosario?
Oh, you're asking him why he wasn't there? I was tired. I just got back from Paris. It's always easy to find an accompanist. I mean, I often accompany her because we get along very well together, and I know the way she sings. But any accompanist could work with her. Besides, I wasn't invited. I didn't want to go anyway. Somebody else could do it.
Did anything change between when she entertained and delighted us with her song and when you arrived here in Milan?
No, I recall her waving to you as we left Lausanne. We had a pleasant lunch. We enjoyed the trip. It was completely uneventful.
Yeah, no telegrams or...
No telegrams. I'm telling you, it was just she saw somebody that she knew, and she's kind of like that. She does what she wants, but she's not irresponsible, which makes no sense at all. I mean, certainly nobody would ever give up a lifelong career that she's been training for her whole life for some fling. She could fling all that she wants when she's not singing in the opera.
Yeah, and that's the night before she opens at La Scala. Signora Tiso, I hope very much that we will see you and her tomorrow night performing.
I certainly hope so. I'm not performing. I'm not in the
I mean,
opera. But
You'll be present for the event, yeah.
yes, I'll be way up in the balconies. I can't afford to sit down in the, the main part of the. But if you hear anything, I hope we find her. I'm very, very worried now. All right. Ciao.
Ciao.
You hang up. Just for your knowledge, this is an Alpha Romero.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
Okay. It's probably getting into the evening now.
Yeah.
Of course, we did not even come here about this matter in the first place. We were distracted. Instead, we have Shadefkar matters to concern ourselves with. Perhaps if we free our minds from this immediate matter, we will something will become more clear.
Yeah. Yeah, for the depth car, all we really had was that some man bought a piece here in Milan. So I wonder if like an art dealer or something.
Do you want to get food and relax for the rest of the evening? Maybe try to think about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, if we got here at 4, this is many hours later, so I doubt there's a lot that we can research this time of night. This is
Time to
Right.
recuperate.
yeah.
There is an evening paper.
We can grab the paper and then head to like a restaurant, cafe or something.
Yeah. Have some wine.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of delicious food. Newspaper. Why don't you do a spot hidden for me?
Regular here.
Regular.
A 10 is an extreme success.
Okay.
I had a hard.
In the evening's newspaper, it doesn't have much in it. There's a few other mentions of Katerina being missing. But a few other terms have caught have stuck in your mind. You're beginning to realize that where your avenues of investigation usually lead to trouble. So you kind of look for trouble in the newspaper. And in this case, you also remember the Alfa Romero. Even if you're looking at it in Italian and you see it, you can see the words Alfa Romero. So it pops out. And you find this little article. It's not sure it's related at all, but you find this.
Automobile worker murdered. The body of automobile worker Eno Spinola was discovered today in a laneway off Via Tevezzano in Portello, not far from the Alfa Romero factory where he worked. Spinola had been stabbed to death. Police are pursuing inquiries among workers in the area. Spinola was an active unionist and is reported to have been arguing about union matters with other workers in recent days.
You have noticed around town as you've been moving about, there are protesters. They look like union people that are protesting various things. Of course, the fascists are giving them all kinds of problems. And so you decide to, you eat. Food's fantastic. You notice everything does seem kind of subdued because people are upset about the diva. You go up to your rooms; they're very comfortable, and you're literally looking out on that central thing where the bowl is, and you can see people milling about. If you look out if you step out onto your balcony and look down, eventually you turn in for the evening. You're a little sore, a little tired. I would like everyone to do call it a power roll.
58.
59 is a regular succse.
90.
Regular.
90
Regular
is
success.
a fail.
Okay. Who succeeded? Raise your hand. Okay. Those of you who succeeded. Along about 2 a.m., the four of you are awoken by something. Somebody somewhere is playing music. No, they're not playing music. Somebody is singing. A voice. It's a soprano. You hop out of bed and you run to your balcony and you sort of lean out. The Galleria is across of an avenue, but there's alleyways and stuff that are also inside all of that, sort of between buildings. Somebody down there at 2:00 in the morning, there's nobody down there. Somebody is singing, and it's a beautiful soprano voice. It sounds like Caterina Cavallaro.
I'd recognize that voice anywhere. I'll quickly throw on my shoes and
I hear it.
and just run out there.
Gunter and Dorian, you are sound asleep. Okay. So Gabriel goes running out the front door into the street.
I'm going to stay at the
Theodore's-
balcony.
Okay. Theodore, you come running out with him. How about
Yeah.
Dr. Kurz?
Yeah, you heard it too, yes?
See?
It sounds, yeah.
I'm going to try and keep it bird's eye view.
The voice echoes around inside the Galleria. It's got a glass ceiling on it, so it's difficult to triangulate where it's coming from. But you run along in a direction you think where it's a bit louder, and there are a few people out walking, probably to their homes or from a restaurant or whatever, and they hear it too. It's 2:00 in the morning. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, yeah. They hear it too, and they're quite surprised, and they're looking around to see if they can identify where it's coming from. Dr. Gabriel, because you ran out so quickly, do a luck roll.
61 is a pass.
Okay. You run along and you turn down an alley. The alley is kind of dark. But I mean, there's light because the Galleria itself is pretty well lit on the inside. And as you run down there, you're pretty sure the voice is strongest down in this direction. But when you get to the end of the alley, there is a brick wall between the buildings that goes up maybe 15 feet. And you're pretty sure that the sound is coming from the other side of it. Meanwhile, a few of the others join you, as do a few others. It's almost definitely Caterina Cavallaro's voice, and then it stops. And it didn't sound like a record. It sounded like her singing. And then there's just silence, and everybody's like
I turn to a local. What's on the other side of this wall?
just more buildings.
Hi, diva. Diva.
No answer. No answer at all. And this is probably a good spot to stop for the evening. We will be coming back after Necronomicon. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, David Gassaway, Stuart Lively, Keith Craig, Josh Harwood, and John Hook, with yours truly as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.